You drop an apple, it falls. Brazil walks onto a World Cup pitch. They dominate the ball. It's supposed to be a fundamental law of physics.
Right, exactly.
But what happens when gravity just breaks? Welcome to today's deep dive. We are unpacking the stunning 2026 World Cup quarterfinal, where Norway, a nation of just, 5.5 million people, eliminated Brazil 2-1?
Still hard to believe.
It really is.
Huh.
So our mission today is to deconstruct exactly how a small nation completely flipped the script to topple a footballing giant. And we're using the raw analysis and tactical data straight from ESPN FC to do it.
Yeah, and to understand this historic upset, you really have to look past the final score. You have to examine the incredibly bizarre tactical setup Carlo Ancelotti deployed for Brazil.
Oh, it was wild.
It was shockingly negative, just a hyper-defensive game plan. I mean, they totally abandoned their traditional samba flair. They finished the match with just 33% possession and a fraction of Norway's passes.
Okay, let's unpack this because, it's like having a garage full of Ferraris but choosing to drive them exclusively in a school zone.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it.
But I do have to push back a little here.
Yeah.
Didn't Ancelotti's trap almost work? I mean, they had that massive chance on the break with Hendrick.
They did, yeah.
So was it really a terrible strategy or just, bad execution in the final third?
Well, I'd argue the strategy itself was fundamentally flawed, mostly because of where Brazil surrendered space.
Right.
By dropping into this deep, passive low block, Brazil essentially vacated that critical area right outside their own penalty box.
Right.
They completely handed the midfield over to Norway's conductor, Martin Ødegaard.
And you just cannot do that.
Exactly. He didn't even have to beat a man. He was receiving the ball with like 3 or 4 seconds of pure unpressured time to pick his passes, which is absolutely lethal at the World Cup level.
Totally.
He and Sander Berge were just strolling through the middle, scooping up all the deflected clearances, those second balls, and instantly restarting the attack. They just dictated the entire tempo.
But, that tactical surrender by Brazil wasn't just a physical error on the pitch. It really exposed a massive psychological fragility.
Oh, 100%.
When a team that is built on attacking flair is told to sit in a bunker, you start to see this sort of heavy jersey syndrome take over.
Yeah, the historical weight of that iconic yellow shirt visibly dragged them down. And I mean, it culminated in that chaotic penalty situation.
That was painful to watch.
Right. Think about the psychology of that huddle in the box. You have Vinicius Jr., arguably their main one-on-one threat, deferring a crucial penalty to a defensive midfielder in Bruno Guimaraes.
Who then missed it.
Exactly.
It wasn't a tactical choice, it was just an abdication of responsibility. The pressure literally made their biggest stars hide. And here's where it gets really interesting. When you look at the intense irony of Norway's squad by comparison.
Oh, totally different mindset.
Completely. Their man of the match wasn't some global megastar. It was Erling Haaland, a 35-year-old reserve goalie for Sevilla, who, by the way, played more national games than club games this season.
Yeah, barely played for his club.
Yet against Brazil, he looked like a brick wall. And then, meanwhile, on the other end, Norway's actual superstar, Erling Haaland, effortlessly bullied Gabriel, who is usually an absolute rock for Arsenal and Brazil, for that towering superhuman header.
It's just a perfect illustration of the contrast between a collection of individuals burdened by expectations and a true unified collective.
Right.
I mean, when a 35-year-old reserve keeper is making world-class diving saves against Brazilian forwards, the whole Norwegian team absorbs that energy. They just play with complete freedom.
And if you are an England fan listening to this next part, you might actually be a bit insulted, because according to the ESPN FC reports, Norway's newfound collective confidence actually dictates their tactical preference for the next round.
Yeah, they are openly stating they would much rather face England than Mexico.
Which seems completely counterintuitive, right, given England's star power?
It sounds crazy on paper.
But if you look at the mechanics of it, it makes perfectly logical sense. Facing England is basically an open book test. Norway has so many players in the Premier League, they already know exactly how fast a certain English winger is, or what tricks an English defender uses. Mexico, with their tricky, less predictable style, is a total pop quiz.
Yeah, familiarity just eliminates the element of surprise. When a Norwegian defender already knows, from playing against him every single week that he needs to drop off exactly 2 yards against a specific English forward, it helps immensely.
It takes the guesswork out.
Right. That mental comfort allows them to just execute their game plan without second-guessing anything.
It really proves that tactical bravery and cohesive, team-wide belief will always outshine disjointed individual talent. I can't stop picturing the scene back in Oslo.
Oh, no. Yeah.
200,000 Norwegian fans celebrating in the streets, literally planning to row up to the palace to wake their king.
Incredible. When a team embraces the joy and the tactical puzzle of the tournament instead of fearing the historical pressure, you get a performance that transcends the sum of its parts.
Which brings us back to that broken law of gravity. If a highly coordinated team of club-level reserves and a couple of superstars can outpass and outplay Brazil at a World Cup, is the era of winning, based purely on historical footballing mystique, officially over? Something for you to chew on until next time.